Good evening, everyone. How are you?
We're back. It's Jay and Kimberly. Hey, so last time we asked you guys to share the video and to do your likes and stuff, and it really did work, and we're getting more traction, which is cool. So continue to share the video on your pages and like it and make comments, and you know, we're just here to help other marriages out there that are struggling, and we're just telling our story.
And it's not about the numbers, guys, or anything like that for us. It's mostly just, we just want more people to see
Exposure.
how things that can go really bad in a marriage and how they can get worked through with God's power and strength. Because we didn't do it on our own, and if it wasn't for Him, we wouldn't be sitting here now telling our story. So we just want more people to do that, to share, tell a bunch of people to come and watch this, because we just want them to see that even in the worst scenarios, things can be good. We just really want to help those who can't see it at this moment. So thanks for tuning in again, and we hope to get a bunch of you on today. And we're going to talk a little bit about Colorado and the journey back to Phoenix and how that all happened. It kind of started with some of the things we were dealing with. Was Kimberly went to Halloween like we talked about, and I was here knowing that things weren't going well.
You were in Colorado, not here in Arizona. I was on my way back.
Right. I was there. She was here because she was coming. Right. And I was there praying on my knees because, you know, God was letting me know that things weren't good, and I didn't know what to do. So 2 or 3 jobs later, going to Phoenix, there was Thanksgiving. I think I came down for a really big job that was a 3 to 5 week job.
We all came down, yeah.
And so, yeah, the whole family came down, and I think I came a little bit before, and they followed me down about a week later. And we were just talking about what we should do, and, you know, should we come back? Do we stay there? You know, all the things that we had decided to leave for seemed to kind of fade away. The idea of looking at the things we couldn't do anymore weren't anywhere near as in our face as much, because now we're home, and it felt like being home was a place to be.
Well, I kind of missed my family, and I missed my friends, and you know, I was very isolated in Colorado. I was extremely isolated. I had no one, no friends, nobody. So I wanted to be back with the family and the friends. And
she was very kind because she actually waited for me to make the call, and I think that was really hard for her because she was ready to leave, but she was still letting me make the call of when it was time to come back. And in the middle of just before Christmas,
so I left to go back home after Thanksgiving.
Yes,
and he stayed here because he had this big job. Yes,
and at first, when she first started heading back, we talked about what we should do, and I said, well, let's just give it a couple more months and see what happens. And it was so expensive to stay in Colorado. Our heating bill was $750 because we had a really bad house.
We weren't used to that.
And so we're trying to deal with this, and I just said, well, let's just give it a couple more months. And literally a week later, I called her up and I said, no, it's time to come home.
And then I came back at Christmas, and then that's when we basically decided, okay, let's just move. You go back, you pack everything up, and then I'll come back, and then we'll come down. So we had no money, so we couldn't afford movers. So literally, we went to this church. It was the Seventh-day Adventist Church
in Tempe. Really great people. We'd been going there for, gosh, I think
a lot of years.
A lot of years,
like almost 10 years.
Yes.
And we were like, we need help. We need help. So like these old guys drove up, like
65 to 70 years old.
I don't think they realized how high we were.
We were at a high elevation, which wasn't great for these guys, but they were wonderful. They came up. They drove their trucks. They brought U-Hauls. We had a little bit of money to pay for one U-Haul ourselves. The church paid for the other U-Haul. We had 3 levels. Our house was a 3-story house.
Yeah, remember I had to take all my stuff with me? So we had to leave some stuff there, but we got most of it back. It was just crazy. And we ended up living in his mom's and his stepdad's RV trailer on their land. They had 5 acres over in 83rd Avenue in Pinnacle Peak.
Next to an airport hangar.
And they have an airplane hangar that he had. And I said, okay, I'll do this, Jay. But you have to build a closet for my clothes.
Oh my gosh, there was, and even getting here, you know, we had to call my mom and Norm and say, hey, we need to come back, and we don't know how to do that, and we don't know where to stay, and we don't know what to do, and they offered it to us. So, you know, God bless them that they were there to allow that, because they knew we weren't in good condition. You know, they knew that our marriage wasn't in good condition, but our kids and everything, we needed a place to stay. And we very easily could have been homeless. A lot of people, didn't have homes.
Too,
That's so we're very
and we
blessed.
didn't have any money at this time. We were just coming back. We had everything pretty much on the move back. So here's my stuff. Let's just backtrack a little. That I had to have. I had to bring it all to Colorado, and then on my way back, I think you guys remember that in Colorado the movers had a hard time and a lot of stuff got broken. Then here everything had to go in the hangar. The hangar is not airtight.
It's all corrugated steel. It's just steel.
The heat.
Yeah.
So we came back in January 2010.
Cold.
So it was cold, but then we had rain, and then the heat, and then the monsoons. Oh my gosh! And then we had to sell our stuff,
and all our furniture,
So we started
is in this
selling our
hangar
stuff.
that's breathing.
Who knows what in there? So we sold all our stuff on Craigslist
rabbits.
for pennies, and it was all gone pretty much.
And we moved, and we had these $2 million houses and a houseboat on Lake Powell. And we'd gotten to the point where we were moving into an 8x24 trailer that my mom owned on a piece of property.
We're talking an RV trailer.
Yeah, and one that you pull behind a truck.
An old one.
And it was built, it was probably 25 or 30 years old. And it was in okay condition, but we worked on it a little bit. We tried to make it a little bit nicer.
Made it nice.
Cleaned it. But Kimberly had to have a closet. And there was this space in the hangar where it was mostly sealed from the rest of the hangar. So it was actually kind of a sealed room. And so I said, honey, I can make a closet out of that. So we did. So she could have her clothes hung up. And her wedding dress and,
Well, that's
all
still in a
stuff.
box. But we had an extra bathroom in the hangar, so that helped. But, the kids remember, like Rachel remembers that as being some of the best times for her. I don't know.
Camping.
But they were extremely bad for me. Like, I was out with the girlfriends all the time. I wasn't barely ever home. And I started working at IHOP as a waitress at this time, too.
Right.
And then cleaning houses. And Jay actually got a really great... So God was in the midst of all this because God gave Jay the most amazing opportunity when he met this guy from Canada. So I'll let
It was actually, what's her name? I'm losing my brain. Whose boyfriend?
I don't know, honey. It doesn't matter.
Valerie's boyfriend.
At the time.
She had told me about him and what he was doing with fix and flips, and that they were they were downtown at trustee sales buying houses. And he called me and he told me about this deals and how it worked, and they were selling houses for 25% above the market in these neighborhoods. And I'm a realtor, and I'm going, that's not physically possible. And Luke,
Gosh, if we could have bought some.
oh my gosh,
then.
Luke was his partner, and Luke and I got along really well. And Luke needed help checking on some of the jobs, making sure they were being done right, making sure they were being built, remodeled correctly, and that kind of thing. And he goes, I'll pay you $25 an hour, and you go down to the trustee sales and buy the homes for us, and we'll just call you and tell you what houses we want. And I would be doing the bidding, and they'd be on the phone with me. And so it was really exciting because it was something new I'd never done before. And then he was hiring me to go and check his houses, make sure they were being taken care of, keeping them swept up and cleaned up while we were trying to sell them. And for the first 3 months, I didn't believe what they said they were doing. But as I watched them doing these jobs, fixing up these houses, they were selling them for 20 to 30% above market.
Yes,
and
this
I go,
was
okay,
what, 2011, 2010, 2011, 2010, 2011.
And then immediately after that, Luke had a really nice house over off of Glendale and 16th Street, and I was there one day, and a really nice guy named Danny came up. He goes, what are you doing over here? And we just talked for a few minutes. I walked him through the house, and he was from Canada, and he wanted to invest in some homes. And from him and several of his friends, we started an investor business, flipping houses, and it went really, really well. Even his dad had bought some and rented them out.
Yeah, so
and
he
that was
really
the beginning.
busy,
That was the
yeah.
beginning of something to happen again for me. So
it was great. I mean, that was really good. Like, at least we had some money coming in. And then we were able to move out of the trailer finally in what was it, September
And-
of 2010. So we got our first little rental house, so that was great. But mind you, our marriage was pretty rocky at this point, and I almost left.
yeah,
And
she
we
was.
talked
She
about
was.
that on our story on the video.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
We
she was.
talked
She,
about that.
yeah, she was out the door. She was gone, and all I could do, in the trailer, the kids are there with me, and I'm just praying for her and just saying, Lord, as
Jay didn't give up on me. He certainly did not give up on me. And, had he given up on me, we probably would not be married today. but he is a true man of God and a good spiritual leader. And we decided to get counseling and have our pastor come over. So our pastor counseled us.
I was a good spiritual leader who was totally blowing it, by the way.
Right,
So don't
well.
please don't
We
get it
all blow it.
that I was this great guy. I was a great guy only in the sense that I was still seeking God on how to help my family work, and God was showing me, but I didn't really know what it looked like, and He was guiding me. He was helping me. You know, I don't know if anybody watched.
And I knew, like, in my heart that Jay was a good man, and I didn't want to leave, and the kids and all that stuff. And I came from a broken home, and I didn't want to do that to the kids, and I didn't want to do that. And I truly, deep inside, did love him. I was just so caught up in my sin, and the devil just gets in, and then all of a sudden you're just gone. And finally, I just started praying. Like that day when I was in the car in the desert, I think you guys remember on our story. So some of you haven't watched our story. You need to go back to our Relentless Love page.
It'll tie this together really well.
Right at the top, it's linked to the top. I have it pinned at the top. Is our story. It's about 30 minutes, but we kind of go into that part of it a little more. We don't have to go into it as much in depth now.
Right.
But that was the moment that I turned. Like I just said, okay, God, I hear you.
Okay,
I'm going to come home and I'm going to make it work. And that's when, I mean, obviously it's a slow process to get out of that. Mm-hmm. And it took a lot of work and literally.
And a lot of fighting and a lot of battles and a lot of eating pride and not trying to be right about things. And, and by the way, we still do that today. For those of you who really know us closely, we are still the great people that we would like
perfect.
to be. Right.
And I don't know why people think Christians are supposed to be perfect.
Because we're not.
Because we're not. That's why we have Jesus. And so many people are just like, they care about what other people say. They care about this. They care about that. You know what? We're human. And we are just living this life. And we're doing the best that we can. But when you have accepted Christ into your life, they think that it's this work that you have to do. It's actually just full surrender. And He does it all inside you. We kind of have that struggle. We want to do it. But then we have to say, okay, never mind, God, you have to do it. Yes. And once you surrender it fully and completely, it is a work that He does through us. So
and the hard thing for me was just knowing that either way I'm going to be okay. I don't know if many of you wrote what I posted or saw what I posted and then read that. The thing was, I just want to talk a little bit about what I was going through, how it was dealt with. And by the way, that's just not for guys. That's for women too. Single women who are trying to run a family, seeking God in the way that needs to be done. Just getting on your knees. How God just said, you're doing the right thing, Jay. You're starting off at the right point, on your knees, asking for help and guidance. And that's what got me just calming down, thinking through things, and letting God guide me on how to reach Kimberly and even to reach your kids, if you're a single mom or a dad trying to make this work. But to be a spiritual leader, regardless of your situation, God wants that in the family. That's what's going to save families, because the devil does not want families together. He ruins them, he breaks them up, and he will get inside your head every opportunity that he gets. And on the 9 items that I listed underneath that, if you didn't read it, please do. I'm going to get in detail on each one of those 9 items every couple of days. I'm going to get a little detail on 1 through 9. So hopefully give you some ideas that might help you know what to do or how to do it, even in the idea of how do you pray, just to see if that helps y'all and just brings you to God.
Our daughter's here. Come here, daughter. Come over here.
I'm wearing so much.
Come here.
That's okay.
So she here's our daughter Rachel. There she is. So how did you like the trailer, honey?
Trailer?
Yeah, when we lived in the trailer. You loved it.
Yeah.
She would say, I love the trailer because Daddy's right there snoring, and I know he's right there.
And now I hate it.
Now she doesn't like the snoring. But anyway. But hey, God bless everybody, and just share the video. We love you, and we'll be praying for you. Bye, Rachel. And then we'll see you next week. Same time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.